In this final video of the Alibaba Investor Day series, we're going to go over the future of Alibaba, including segmentation changes in an effort to give us more information, and the areas of focus to generate future growth, which include China, globalization, and cloud computing. So smash that like button and subscribe if you're new. You're watching More Money. Let's get it. Guys, it's New Year's Eve of 2021 and we have come to the end of this year. We've also come to the end of the Alibaba series. I am so glad to see that so many of you learned so much about Alibaba, and so let's end this with a bang. But before we do that, I need your help. So being here in Toronto, we're pretty much locked down still, so there's really not much to do for New Year's. So I'm gonna be staying at home, and you know what? Not to brag, I've actually picked out my New Year's pajamas that I'm gonna be wearing. But I need your guys' help to finalize which one it's gonna be. It's either one, these awesome sexy Spider-Man pajamas, or two, the Ninja Turtles pajamas. I think I'm partial to the Ninja Turtles. You guys let me know. Whatever you choose, that's what I'm gonna wear. All right, enough waffling. Let's get into the last episode of the Alibaba Investor Day series. So let's start with the segmentation changes that we expect to see in the new year. It was clear that the old segmentation got really heavy in the core commerce segment. So you can see here in their old segmentation for commerce, they had their online stores, which were Taobao and Tmall. They also had their flagship store, 1688, in there. They also had AliExpress, which is their international business. Lazada is also their international business in Southeast Asia. They have Trendyol in there, which is the leading online retail business in Turkey. They got Daraz. I believe that Daraz is in Pakistan. Guys, correct me in the comments if I'm wrong. They have Sinyao, which is their global logistics network. They have Ali.me, which is your Uber Eats type business. So you had a lot of businesses all in this one core commerce segmentation. So they're gonna break that out, and this is what it's gonna look like. So you can see here that they're gonna break it out into China commerce, international commerce, and local consumer services. And this is gonna be really good because it just sort of aligns us with where the customer is or what type of customer they are. So with China commerce, is pretty much self-explanatory. It is your Chinese consumers and the businesses that impact those Chinese consumers. With international commerce, yeah, you have Lazada, your Southeast Asia business. You got AliExpress, which is largely the globe. Trendyol, which is of course Turkey. Daraz, I believe that's Pakistan. And then moving on to the local consumer services, that's largely your Uber Eats delivery type businesses. So you got Ali.me in there. And then of course you can see that they broke out Sinyao by itself, which makes sense because it's a global business and it touches the whole platform as a whole. So it'd be nice to see that broken out. Also, it's a different type of business in nature. It's logistics. So I want to kind of see that broken out from online retail. So you might be wondering, why does it matter that they're breaking out the segmentation? And the real reason for that is that because we will be able to forecast operating income at a more granular level. Because as you can see from here, right now in the model, I'm actually blanketing operating income margins. And so I don't actually know what the different sub segments in the overall segment are generating in terms of income. And so I might be giving them more credit than they deserve. And so by breaking out these sub segments into their own segments, it allows me to just forecast this a lot better. And so in this slide, you can see how it's going to be broken out. They've already provided us with first half of 2022 and fiscal year 2021 results. And you can see from here that it really is a China commerce cash cow business. China commerce is making all of the money. They're not making money on international, on an EBITDA level, not on local consumer services, or anything else other than Alibaba Cloud. So you can see that they really are in the business of investing in international business, in the local consumer services, in digital media and entertainment, in innovating other businesses, and also investing still in cloud to develop these businesses. So this is largely still a growth technology play here. And what you're really getting when you buy Alibaba, in my opinion, and the reason what attracted me to this business overall, what you're largely doing is paying for China commerce, and you're getting all those other businesses for free. Now let's talk about the future growth opportunities. The first major opportunity is the growth of Chinese consumption. And the growth of Chinese consumption can be segmented into three different areas, which you can see in this chart. The first one is user growth. The second one is the share of wallet expansion, and the third one is value creation. And if you go back to any of the videos that I've been making on Alibaba since my initial 6-part series, this is exactly what I've been speaking about. The growth story that's going to impact Alibaba is still largely with the Chinese consumer, despite the headwinds that we're seeing in the market today. And moving to the slide, it looks like as of the latest available data, 85% of the Chinese consumer is online, and overall, Alibaba has captured 80% of those customers that are online. And then moving on, you can see that the real opportunity remains in the tier 3 and tier 4 cities, as that is where the online population is least developed. So that's that user growth part about it. But what about the share of wallet expansion? What exactly does that mean? And this chart really shows it. You can see that on the x-axis, that's the category penetration of the average annual customers. And on the y-axis, you can see how much as a proportion of the total sales that category represents. And the size of the bubble represents China's retail market size in the relevant category. So obviously you can see there's a huge opportunity in food, grocery, and fresh produce. And the biggest challenge with food, grocery, and fresh produce is the fact that these are perishables. So you really have to focus on the last mile. And so in order to get to a market leadership position in online retail of perishables, you have to invest in getting the products to the customers as quickly as possible. And so here in the next slide, Alibaba really shows you what their ambitions are. You can see that with Fresh Hippo, any customer that's within 3 kilometers of the grocery store, they're looking to have their groceries delivered within 30 minutes of making the order to an hour. And from what they're experiencing, 97% of the orders are currently on time. With their supermarkets, which are located within 20 kilometers of the customer, they're looking to have all the products delivered within half a day or same day. So theoretically, I could buy a pair of shoes from a mall using Tmall and have them delivered by lunchtime. And then of course, with their regional deliveries where the customers are a lot further away from the product, they want to be able to deliver most of it within next day. And so you're seeing the ambition there, and you're seeing why I'm getting so excited about Fresh Hippo and why I'm surprised that a lot of people don't really talk about it. And so going into the next slide, you can see that they provide a better visual representation of their ambitions. So you can see here that all restaurants and retailers with the focus predominantly on perishable products, they want to get that to the customer within 30 minutes to an hour. When it comes to malls, such as like the Tmall Mart or even Sun Art, which is predominantly a grocery store, but it might be 20 kilometers away from the customer, they want to get that to them within the same day or worst case scenario next day. And then of course with your community group buying, this would be like your Tao Sai Sai group buying. You want to be able to get the product to the pickup point within next day. And so that's exactly the focus there. And the idea really is here to integrate the delivery process so that it works within the average day of the Chinese consumer. They want you to be able to order groceries while you're leaving work, and as you get home, the groceries are at your doorstep, or you're busy at home doing something and you know that you're gonna get the groceries within a half an hour. Look, it takes a lot longer to get dressed, go out to the store and come back than it is to just pick things out, do whatever you got to do, and the groceries are at your doorstep. I actually tried Instacart here in Toronto. It's a lot slower than half an hour delivery, but I found it very convenient. Now, focusing on the Chinese consumer and the growth of a specific product category is very exciting because they're really showing to us how they're going to be competing over the next 5 to 10 years. And what it really does is it alleviates some of the concerns that we have that there's growing competition in China. That being said, that's not the only way that they're competing. This next slide takes us into how they're competing internationally. As you can see that Alibaba's international commerce retail business from a monthly active user perspective is number 4 globally. Of course, Alibaba's China commerce is number 1. And then when you look at gross market value of purchases, they are number 6 globally. And you can see from here that the European, Middle East, and Africa penetration is still very low. And Southeast Asia, as you guys saw from the Lazada presentation of this Alibaba Investor Series, is also very low, and it's growing very fast. So Alibaba has a long runway in both of these markets. And of course, focusing on the online Chinese customer and the international customer is not the only strategy. They have one other strategy that everyone's very excited about, which is cloud computing. And this next slide really shows how they're going after that, where they're really utilizing a 2-pronged strategy. And so from here, you can see that the first of those 2-pronged strategies is the cloudification of infrastructure. I really go into detail on this in the Alibaba Cloud presentation, but you can see that the areas that we are most familiar with, which is storage, networking, big data, and security, can be moved into the cloud. And so that's exactly what they're doing. But the next part, this is the most exciting part, because this is taking us into the new age of the internet world, which is the ecosystem and open source opportunities. So as everything moves into the cloud, you're going to start seeing cloud native applications that allow us to do more with less and better than we previously did before. I think in the future, you're going to have more and more unique offerings that are going to be offered on this sort of cloud-based ecosystem. And Alibaba is setting the stage to be the platform for that emergence. We are going into the third stage of the online world. And the two areas that are most popular of this new online world are, of course, the metaverse and autonomous driving. Guys, if you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing to the channel. I do my absolute best to bring you non-hype research-focused content, and with your subscription, YouTube extends the reach of the channel, which allows us to help more and more people. Also, it's important that you understand what Alibaba has said throughout their Investor Day presentation. If you have missed any of the videos so far covering this important event, no worries, because I have it all summarized in this series right here.